this video, we will explain to foreigners the cases in which it is necessary to obtain permission to fly a drone in Japan. This time we will discuss Fright method requirements. First, let's recap the last video. Permits must be obtained if the total weight of the drone is 100 grams or more and if the drone is in airspace A to D. So, what are the requirements for a permit regarding the flight method? Regarding flight methods, permission is required in the following 6 cases. Flying at night, flying beyond visual line of sight, flying without maintaining distance from people or objects, flying above a designated event area, transporting dangerous materials, dropping objects. Let's look at each one. The first is flying at night. The reason is that it becomes difficult to acquire the drone and surrounding obstacles, increasing the risk of a crash. You can check the time at night on the National Astronomical Observatory of Japan's website. This page is displayed in English by pressing the English button. Specify the location and date, and the sunset time will be displayed. Please see the description for a link to the National Astronomical Observatory of Japan website. The second is flying beyond visual line of sight. In this case, the image from the camera mounted on the drone itself is usually displayed on a monitor at hand, and the drone is operated while watching it. Flying a drone beyond visual line of sight is highly difficult, so permission is required. It is also important to note that in order to obtain permission, it is necessary to master the basic piloting skills for flying beyond visual line of sight. The third is flying without maintaining a distance from people or objects. Here, distance refers to whether or not a distance of 30 meters or more can be maintained. Also, people refers to third parties other than the pilot and related parties, and objects refers to third-party objects such as vehicles and structures. Please note that permission is required not only during flight but also during takeoff and landing if drones are not 30 meters away from people or objects. The fourth is flying over a designated event area. The reason is to prevent the drone from falling and causing harm to people during the event. Whether it is an event or not is determined comprehensively based on whether it is held at a specific location and date. The fifth is the transportation of dangerous materials. Dangerous materials are things like poisons, flammable liquids, explosives, and weapons, as defined by the Aviation Act. Dangerous materials also include pesticides, and permission to drop objects is also required when spraying pesticides. The sixth is dropping objects. As the name suggests, dropping objects is the act of dropping something, but does not include installation. Dropping objects also includes spraying pesticides. To obtain a permit, you must have a track record of dropping objects or have undergone prescribed training. In addition, you must observe the following points regardless of the flying location or whether you have permission. Do not fly while drunk. Perform pre-flight checks. Take precautions to avoid collisions. Do not fly dangerously. That concludes the requirements for flight methods that require permission. Thank you for watching. If you are applying for a drone permit, please contact our AOBA soken. This video was presented by our AOBA soken.